There we go. Should be on now. All right. There we go. Should be on now. Oh, it's on. All right. There we go. Should be on now. Oh, it's on. I need to shut mine down. All right. So yeah, so the body language, I mean, it could play in a few ways. I think learning that skill of the, I'll call it, I don't care, it don't matter type deal. Yeah. But you can't give off the I don't care. Mm-hmm. It just has to be I walk the guy, give him the ball. Mm-hmm. It's like you didn't walk the guy. Yeah. It's like you struck him out.
It's kind of almost like you got to flip the page. When you're pitching, you got to flip the page every pitch because the next pitch counts. Yep. The next at bat counts. The next play counts. And these kids, they kind of harp on that one play, and then they lose it for the rest of the game. It's almost like when we play in high school, it's almost next man up syndrome. Mm-hmm. Hey, next play. It's on to the next play. Flush it. Like we starting to say now for us, flush it. Next page.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that you want to do. So the next game is in-game coaching. I mean, in-game coaching to me is it's one of them things where I coach off the field. Yeah. I'd have run 3, 4, 5 different lineups the night before, left them all at home. I done got to the field, watched them warm up. I done changed my leadoff hitter twice. Yeah. I done changed my 4-hole hitter to 3-hole. Yeah. By the time I get to the dugout, I got another leadoff hitter. Next thing you know, we go into the game. First inning, we got 2, 3 runs, and I'm thinking, I'm glad I went with that one. So, for me, I even do the pitching. Like sometimes I really don't know who's starting game 1. I have an idea who's going to start game 2, but it's based really off of who I'm going with game 1. Correct. I know for me, coaching, I like to try to go out who I feel is going to throw strikes first in the first inning because that first inning is huge. Getting out of that first inning, like that's the biggest thing for any team playing AAA and up is getting out of the first.
Correct.
Because most teams playing at that level, they 1, 2, 3, 4, they can do a little bit. And so getting out of that first inning with no runs, that's huge because now you're probably going to get to the third, fourth inning, maybe 1 or 2 runs given up. But if you give up 2 or 3 that first inning,
it's hard to come back.
Well, not only that, but you really have to you got to put up some runs now. Mm-hmm. So now the pressure gets on from the first couple of innings. Now, the other thing that happens is now you got to make sure that you got your better defense out there because now we got to stop them from scoring runs.
Right.
And so now that's where the players at practice, this is where all this starts to tie back in to where now when we get to when we get to the in-game coaching, that in-game coaching also starts at practice. And what a lot of players don't get is coaches are going to always go with who they can trust. I don't care how you chop it up. I don't care what level it is. It doesn't matter. Coaches are going to always rock with who they can trust first. And so if you're at practice or if you're in the cages, anything like that, to me, I feel like your best bet is always treat it as competition because the way it works at high school is you're always going to be in competition with somebody. And so that's the whole thing of, knowing that, the you good? Okay. You good? Yeah. That's the whole thing of knowing like what we're trying to do is always going to be on that level of you trying to make your teammates better and you're trying to get better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so now what happens is when we are at practice and then we go to games and we're in warm-ups and everything like that, you have to know that our coach is watching us and how we interact with each other, how we go about our way. Like that's going to dictate some of my in-game coaching.
A lot of it.
Because now, let's just say I have an outfielder constantly missing the ball or constantly not throwing to the cutoff, and we just went over cutoff. If I get to that last inning and I see, and I look at their lineup and I see, all right, we got the middle of their lineup. I got to worry about outfield play. So my best outfield, besides my pitcher, my best outfield is going out there. So at any point in time, if you didn't do X, Y, Z at practice or other games, you're probably not going to get the call at last inning. And, to kind of say it, I don't feel sorry, but just like I tell the players, you guys write the lineups. You guys tell us what to play y'all on defense. So if you want to take a rep off in practice, I'm the type of coach, I'm telling you, I'm watching and I'm moving. And just because I'm hitting ground balls in the infield does not mean I can't see the outfield. And just because I'm doing drills in the outfield does not mean I'm not looking in the infield.
Correct.
And I think they take that for granted when they get to high school, because I've had a lot of kids and parents, they say, well, I don't know why he's not playing. The first thing I ask is, how are you practicing?
Correct.
Are you hustling at practice? Are you outfielding everyone at practice? Are you out catching fly balls and hustling and hitting your cutoff versus everyone at practice?
Correct. Are you vocal?
That's catchers. I'm on their butts about that. but the whole thing is in-game coaching dictates from practice.
Yes.
And for me, when I get in game, especially with my catchers, and I feel like I vibe with those guys a lot because we're always talking, we're always trying to figure stuff out together. And so when we get in game, you got to get to your shortstop, second baseman. You got to make sure that they are also connected with the catcher. And then you got to get your center fielder, make sure that he connected with the infielders, and then make sure that he can control the outfielders.
Yeah.
So that in-game coaching, it don't start just in the game. Like it's through practice to where everyone knows where they need to be, how they need to move, and then understanding the situations of that also. So you can give me your thought on in-game coaching as well.
My thought on in-game coaching is I'm more of a field type of coach, and I talk to the players a whole lot. Hey, how you feeling? Hey, you want the ball today? Oh yeah, I want it. Okay, well show me. I'm that type of coach.
You do that.
And it's to me it's crazy because sometimes in my mind I maybe want to go with somebody else, but then I got a kid that's in my face, coach. I need it. Not all the time do I go with that kid, but sometimes I want to put you on the spot, Johnny, on the spot. Let's go. You say you want it. Let's go. So because that kid may be feeling it. That kid may be doing some work at home that I don't know nothing about, and he want to show it off. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give you a shot. But also, like you said, in-game coaching comes from practice. Because if I'm putting you in these uncomfortable situations in practice, and you making the plays, or you backing up that guy on cuts and doing different things, yes, when it comes down to it in the end, hey, I'm gonna go with the best nine gonna be on the field.
Correct.
And that's just where I go with mine.
Yeah. So this is Nation League Baseball Club podcast. I'm here with Patrick Tate. Today we talked about players in practice. We spoke on body language, which I think in youth baseball, I think is something that over the last 3 years especially is something that I start to see. I'm not going to say it's getting worse and worse, but it's getting more common. All right. We spoke on in-game coaching, and we're going to do some clips on the field as well to kind of go into a little bit more detail with some other thoughts on in-game coaching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Calvin Medlock, Nation League Baseball Club with Patrick Tate. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Let me get this guy real quick. All right. Y'all give me a second. We are going to come back in about 3 minutes. We're going to do 3 of them today. Knock them out back to back. Holla.
Oh, she said the same thing.
What?